So our farms and our soil is our most valuable asset. Without good soil, we can't produce a good crop. So things like putting in terraces, buffer strips, waterways, no-till, cover crop. You can see on the hill back there, behind the trucks, it looks like kind of a tan look. That's cover crop that's been terminated and there's soybeans planted into it. We use cover crop, and our goal is to keep our nutrients and our fertility and our soil on our farm and not let it wash down the stream or down a river. So if you see the area that's tilled up here behind the buildings that we just walked by, that was an area that had eroded kind of bad from a severe thunderstorm we had here just recently. And so that's an area that we have not pattern tiled. And pattern tiling is one of those things that's come up in the latest round of elections. And there's a bunch of misconceptions about pattern tiling, what we do or why we do it. For us, we've got heavy soils that retain water. If we don't tile that, we can't hardly farm that soil. It gets, you can get it planted and you can get a crop off of it, but you don't get as good a crop off of it. And what we found was on farms that we've pattern tiled, we've increased our yield 20 to 25% without adding any additional fertility. So what it's doing is our plants are more efficiently uptaking the fertility that's currently there, but it's also reduced our runoff because the field behind us here that we're walking to is pattern tiled and we had little to no erosion on it. What it does is in the off time when it's not raining, all the excess water is going down to the tile and leaving the field, and it creates this 3-foot deep layer of soil that's able to accept water in the rate that it comes down. And so you can see we had a couple little washes here, but nothing bad. But down below us here, there was a big brushy draw through there. And there's a misconception that, you know, if you have all these trees along a ditch, that that's going to conserve the soil, and that's not true. When trees grow along a creek bank or ditch bank, as those roots expand, they slump off the soil, and pretty soon the tree falls off into it. That's what we had going on here. So we pulled got the trees out of there, reshaped that ditch, and we seeded it down now. And we've got 2 basins in there. So when the water runs off the field, it runs down into those basins, and we capture that soil and keep it, and the water slowly migrates out of the basin through tiles. And this is a part of a long-term project for us. We've got this pattern tiled and we're going to put terraces in this field, but there's a limited amount of time you have to be able to get that work done in the spring or the fall. So we felt it was more important to get the tile in and then come back and put our terraces back into this field. So we put down cereal rye, and what that does is it keeps a plant growing on our soil year round. So it's a cold weather type plant. We try to get it on right after harvest and get it started. And it isn't as much the stuff that's on top of the surface of the soil. It's the roots down below the surface that hold the soil there. And so it does a couple things. It prevents erosion, but it also makes our soil much more loose and works a lot better. So one of the tools that's becoming more popular is saturated buffers. And what they do is they create a grassland along a stream, and all the tiles are funneled into a pit where they've filled it with wood chips. And what happens then is, as that water migrates to those wood chips and is migrated out into that wetland, the nitrates are held in the wood chips. So this water that's coming out of that saturated buffer is absolutely clean. Another piece that ties into this, and you can see it in this field, you can see the grass over here. You can see just kind of over the hill, there's grass, and there's a little bit right here. Those are waterways. And so this farm has a bunch of waterways in it. And what that is in the low part of the field, we create a basin or a structure, and if all the water funnels down to it, it's seeded, it's made so that it won't wash out. And then when that water runs into it, any soil that's carried in that water will be retained in the grass. waterways are kind of high maintenance. You have, like now we've had a lot of these heavy rains, we've had some washing. We'll have to go through this fall with the scraper and scrape some of the soil out that has been retained in those waterways and then put it back on the field again.